Now, we're talking about this. Black Friday is happening. As South Africans are dealing with a high cost of living and unemployment, consumers have been urged to spend wisely and evaluate their levels of affordability. And Ayanda Nyathi is actually at the Mall of Africa, probably one of the busiest malls we've got and one of the biggest. I can only imagine what is going to happen there. I mean, look, it's not 9 o'clock yet. I'm not sure what time the shop's open. I think about 9. But Ayanda, what are you seeing? I mean, is it like years gone by where there were snaking queues and desperate people wanting to rush through the doors as they open?
Well, Leanne, those are the images we saw in the past. But actually, if you woke up from a coma, dare I say, you'd be none the wiser that today is the now famous Black Friday being celebrated here in South Africa. Look, there's a steady uptick in the traffic now, but when we arrived about 2 hours ago, goodness, there were more Black Friday signs than there were people. But, you know, there's a whole lot of things to consider around why that's the case this time around. For one, we speak more about a Black Friday week than we do just about a single day. And so some of the store managers who've spoken to us off air have said that, you know, frankly, they weren't really expecting the rush we've seen in the past, especially when this mall first opened. I mean, there were those snaking queues and people quite literally having a scrum off with their trolleys to enter some of these big stores. I want to step out a shot just for a moment to get you a sense of what the traffic is looking like as we speak. And as you can see, steady kind of stream at the very least, otherwise actually a bit quiet. So we'll get a sense of how things typically unfold from here on, especially because, as you mentioned, perhaps some people are only waking up to the fact. But the discussion you just had, I think, is a fascinating one about, you know, ways in which people have started using alternatives to try and get to some of those deals. And it seems, you know, a lot of people are taking up that chance and are not necessarily going through the old conventional foot traffic that we've seen in the past. And so this is the situation as it stands. There were 1 or 2 stores that did have some people there, but the major supermarket where we're standing outside now really seems like they're having an ordinary day at the office. But there's plenty to be considered. Some economists speaking about optimism nonetheless once we start reconciling the amount of people who've come out in the stores and those, of course, who've taken the option to go and shop online. So we'll be stationed here throughout the morning, a bit of a special broadcast of the agenda, if you like. And so stick around. We'll certainly get you a sense of the extent to which the situation changes here at the Mall of Africa.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ayanda. I know what you're saying. It's unbelievable. It's nowhere near what it used to be. And I think maybe it was a novelty in the beginning, and maybe those offers were too good to be true. But I'm not sure those offers exist anymore. I mean, I've just looked at social media. It's not my favorite go-to place, I have to tell you. I'm not a fan these days of what goes on X, but it's not even trending. People aren't even talking about it. I remember the mornings driving here, and there were actually queues of people outside the shopping center at about 3 in the morning trying to get in and get a special. Okay, all right, Black Friday. Maybe it will develop through the day.